Retro Dream Beam here. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Oh, that really hurt to break out of my routine for my intro. But yeah, this is everything we're about to ship out today on Monday. So quick story time. I think it was like mid-Saturday. We had it was about 12 sales total from like the back end of Friday into almost like 7, 8 o'clock on Saturday, which is crazy horrible. We normally do about like 10 items a day. On a better day, we can get like 14, 15, 16. It depends on combo orders. And then the slower days, we can get like 8 usually is the low end. So like 6 on each of the Friday and Saturday was pretty crazy. And then there was like a long period of time. It was almost like 18 hours where there was just like no traction or motion on eBay. This seems to have been a thing for, I don't know, like a year or two now, where we get like a shotgun bunch of like items that sells like back to back to back for like 15 minutes, a lot of offers. And then it'll be like silence for like 6 to 8 hours, maybe with like one little offer thrown in between. And then out of nowhere, like a shotgun of a bunch of other things selling and offers. It's kind of crazy. All right. But then we did eventually have a turnaround. So yeah, I was really lucky. The turnaround was great. I was just spending the time making different videos and organizing. All right. The first thing is Flames of War, these British airborne howitzers right here. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong thing. Flames of War is a really popular World War II game right here. So these figures are already based. I got a bunch of these in one of the videos I posted a couple weeks ago where I was going through a bunch of miniatures. So yeah, these started selling. People do like them. Someone used some like weird glue on the bottom, and I'm not too sure why. They probably just like would use whatever they had. But yeah, this ended up selling for $22.49. The Flames of War World War II miniature stuff is super popular. All right, next up is going to be Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Super Good Memories, Volume 1, a little bit of marks, but yeah, this is not the hardcover. This is not like a first edition. But yeah, I used to pick up a bunch of Harry Potter books, and I was hoping to like get the full set and sell the whole set. I did get the full set accidentally one time when I got a bunch of war game books, and then there happened to be a set of Harry Potter in there, so I did get to sell it one time, but then I just started selling these individually. The dream of like getting the whole sets, it just kind of went away at some point. That sold for $9, which is pretty good. It's a good series. All right, next up is going to be a lot of 32 of these. It's a bunch of them. Where did I put them? Right here. So I had to take them out the bag's a little cloudy. These are going to be little acrylic tokens for like the poison, the wound, the burn status, the GX little special abilities you could use. I think it's like once per game. People open up a bunch of Elite Trainer boxes, and then they kind of just care about the cards, but it comes with like sleeves, tokens to actually play the game. And then like you've seen me sell the empty boxes. So I always find like the accessories. I like to list them in lots if I can. This ended up selling for $15, which is pretty good for a bunch of like little tokens that people just kind of toss aside. There are a bunch out there. All right, next up is going to be PS2 God of War. This is a removable like skin for your PlayStation 2. When I first got these, I also talked about this in a video, I think a couple months ago, where I was going through stuff and I'm like, I have no idea what this is. And then it took me a second to realize people would put these like stickers on their PlayStation 2. So really cool like video game accessory type of thing, a collectible. Never played God of War. I think it's like a boss killer game. This is for part 2. The only like boss killer game I've played is Monster Hunter Rising, which was super fun. I would like to have time to play the new one that's been out, but I just don't have time right now to spend that much time into a video game. It's a good one, though. It looks like a good one. All right, this sold for $13.49. I had another one, so I went ahead and relisted it. I think I got like 3 or 4 of them. All right, next up is going to be Kingdom Death Monster Titan B t-shirts. This is extra, extra large. So this one's interesting. And then I bought a bunch of Kingdom Death stuff to kind of flip it. I think it was like 2021. Kingdom Death Monster is a boutique horror board game. It's made by like one person, but now it's kind of like a whole business type of thing. I'm still in one of their original Kickstarters. It was like one of their Black Friday deals, so I'm still getting stuff shipped occasionally from them. I've played over 1,000 hours of Kingdom Death Monster 1.5. I've played a lot of the expansions. I have the Gambler's Chest. I've played at least like 20 hours of the Gambler's Chest. I've just been busy with other stuff and been playing other board games, because this is like a board game you can like really dive into and kind of make it like you could play it for like 10 plus years. There's that much content, and it's kind of an intriguing concept. All right, but yeah, these t-shirts we bought to flip. We got different sizes. I used to buy one of each of them. I just kind of like haven't bought as many of the shirts. So yeah, I think we spent like 20 or 25 on this. Only sold it for $43.20. So was it worth the flip? I don't know. I guess so. The miniatures did better. So I would normally buy a couple of the miniatures to get the promo game cards to get more stuff for the game. but then the shipping would be like $20, $25, something like that. Where when I added a bunch of t-shirts and stuff that I was just going to flip, it didn't add extra shipping costs. So yeah, instead of buying 2 miniatures, the miniatures come in like super small boxes, kind of like this. It depends on like what miniature, but yeah, so like adding a couple of shirts and stuff was just to kind of pay for my stuff that I was using. All right, $43.20. The Titan B is not out yet. I'm assuming they are probably talking about this, which is why people were watching my listings. I have like a medium size. Most people who play Kingdom Death are going to get large, extra large. That's just the thing. Medium or small, so I usually had a good shot of getting the shirts, even if when they went up for sale. Even if I was like busy with work or something, I could jump and grab it because most people aren't medium or small that play the game. It is what it is. All right. Next up is going to be a military book. This is F-15 Eagle right over here. We do pretty well with these military books where they're specifically about like a jet or a tank or like a person. I like getting them. I still have a bunch to go through. This ended up selling. How much does this one sell for? $15. Let me mark off some stuff so I don't lose my place. All right, next up is going to be a PC game, like an older one. I've never played it. It's Jet Fighter 4 that I'm looking all over the place for. All right, it's right here. It's right next to me. All right, Ned and I keep having issues where we can't find something. It's literally within like our own personal bubble. It's happened to us like 10 or so times in the past few weeks. All right, Jet Fighter 4 PC game where you're playing as like a jet, doing little missions. People like this kind of stuff all the time. They like to do the simulations. There's just like a lot of video games that people like out there. It's pretty cool that someone likes it. This isn't my thing, but if I had infinite time, I wouldn't say no to trying a game like that. $5.62. Nothing too crazy. All right, moving along, we have Dust Warfare, hardcover core rulebook. I have a bunch of these by Fantasy Flight Games right over here. This is, I think, a post-apocalyptic, like World War II, like their own fiction of it type of miniature game. I think it's not as popular. I always get like the rulebook scenarios, update books, and stuff like that. I don't think I've gotten too many of the miniatures. I'm sure they would do great. This ended up selling for $11.25. I have a bunch of this particular like Dust Warfare books listed and stuff. All right, moving along. I just posted the video over the weekend. I hope people liked it. I'm going to try to do more. When I was organizing a bunch of like board game bits and pieces, already had some sales from it. So this is the set of Wingspan cards. I did open them up. This is the full set of the base game right there, 180 cards. Really cool art. Really good quality components. I think it's Stonemeyer Games does a really good job with making good quality components, which is important if you're into the board game world. And then this is a pack of 81. These are the European expansion. There's also Oceania and then Asia. And then there's also Wormspan and Finspan, dragons with, and then also fish. I've only played the Wingspan, and I forgot like 1 or 2 expansions we have. Annetta likes it. We played it a bunch in 2020 early on. That's when we had a bunch of time to play some board games. These 2 packs of cards sold for $30, so pretty cool combo order. I promised the person to refund excess shipping. All right, next up is a lot of 5 of these little helicopters and planes, little like toys and stuff that I used to get like baggies from like the Savers, Goodwills, Mom and Pop thrift stores. She loved to get them. They used to be like quarters, 50 cents, dollars. They're now more expensive. I mean, we haven't gone to a thrift store in a little bit. But yeah, this little lot's really good quality one. I know people are going to like these types of like ships. They're just kind of like unique. $23.99. There are different like brands on it. The helicopters, United States of America. There's an ANA. There's a Japan Airlines one in there. There's a rescue helicopter. And then there's this plane, which is ANA as well. So yeah, people love the little planes and stuff. I know that technically likes planes as well, and she likes trains and dragons. She has a good eclectic taste of stuff like that. But yeah, all right. Next up is an interesting one. Gave me good memories when I was at the storage unit. This is Sailor Venus from Sailor Moon. I watched a little bit of Sailor Moon. That's not the good memories part. Up here is a KB Toys sticker. Super cool. I always like zoom in on these stickers and stuff when they're on there because I know people will do like cool collections where they have like Blockbuster, Room, or just like crazy cool stuff you can find online. But yeah, KB Toys was really cool. When my parents would bring us to KB Toys, they would always have this little clearance section. You could find some really cool stuff. This one kind of looks janky. So I remember when Annetta got these at like, I remember she got these at a Goodwill. She brought them back. I'm like, oh, these look like, they just look like fake ones. She's like, oh yeah, how about you look them up? How about you look them up? And I looked them up, and yeah, this one ended up selling for, we sold the other ones. This one sold for $28. I think she paid 50 cents for that one on like a half off day. She definitely proved me wrong there. She's like, yeah, look it up, boy. And I looked up. All right, moving along, we have, this is a really cool figure right here. This is an advanced Sentinel for HeroClix. They have these colossal size figures. They're kind of not as strong, at least when I was playing the game, because you can have a bunch of characters kind of gang up on a character. They can use stuff like Outwit, or just like there's an ability called Perplex to lower someone's stats. But these are a lot of fun when one person just wants to, they don't care that they're going to lose. They're going to be like, okay, I'm going to play Magneto and a bunch of Sentinels. And then the person will then verse 3 people, and they'll be like, oh, you know, you use X-Men or Avengers or something. So you do these like cool scenarios. But yeah, this is a cool colossal figure. They have a bunch of them. You can play them at different point ranges. So you can literally put this in like a 300-point army and then probably put them at like 100 points. This is an older one, this Sentinel, I think. But yeah, this ended up selling for $15. Yeah, people like the Sentinels. There's a really cool like master mold figure that can spawn different Sentinels. A lot of cool stuff for HeroClix. That was my favorite in HeroClix. Kind of like the common way a lot of comic book places play is they'll pick a theme. Let's just say they'll do like, oh, this is Halloween. It's October. We're gonna do Halloween. All your figures have to have like orange or pumpkin or maybe a black cat or something like that. And then whoever wins the night usually gets to pick what everyone's gonna play next week. So if I would win, I would be like, well, I like X-Men, so I want to be like everyone's gonna use X-Men. And it's just a really cool way. It's like not as competitive. You can find competition for the game at bunch of different places to play, but it's really like just a cool fan made like scenarios and stuff that end up happening. A lot of fun. All right, QRF. I haven't played in over like 10 years, but it's a great game. Just don't have the time. It's another one of those games where you can put a lot of time into it, kind of like Kingdom Death Monster. But yeah, I just don't have the time. All right, moving along, we have this MAV4. This is what was it called? A Humvee little Jeep right here. Metal miniature. This looks like it was made in the UK. Do pretty well with the military miniatures all the time. People do use them. $7.59. They usually just care about like how big the millimeters the figure is, because they want to mix and match with like, you know, you don't want to have a bunch of big tanks and then your little tiny infantry. They want it to be a little bit more realistic on the battlefield, as realistic as a miniature game can be. All right, moving along, we have this really cool find by Netta a long time ago. Got a lot of eclectic stuff selling today. So this is Fitz and Floyd. This is a like pig with a bunch of veggies. Pretty good quality. It needs a little bit of like a shine or like a hot soapy water clean. It's probably like a flower vase, or you can put probably cooking utensils, honestly, but like you can still use this as a flower vase or store pens or whatever you want. This says it's from 1992. I asked Annette about this one because I was looking up. There's a lot of high prices. She's like, no, that stuff's pretty good. People like that. So yeah, we do pretty well with the Easter stuff in this. It is a ceramic. I don't like to pick up ceramics as much anymore, just because stuff can break. So yeah, that one sold for $75. That's our best sale today. Next up is also a cool one. The shipping probably was too much. Everyone does. We do plus shipping for everything. So yeah, this one right here is a Treasure Craft made in USA cookie jar. Good quality. I love cookies. Who doesn't? Yeah, just a little bit of nicks and like a little bit of paint wear. Lids right over here. I got this from the person. It says Treasure Craft made in USA again. I got this from the person where we got a bunch of the police cars. Excuse me, from the storage units that they flipped. They also like threw in a bunch of other stuff like this. They don't want to deal with like ceramics or like cookie jars, but cookie jars and stuff like this can be really good. So it's weird that we had these ceramics sell back to back. $20.99. All right, moving along, we have a combo order right here for 3 of the lots of the World War II micro armor 6mm miniatures, metal miniatures right here. There's a pack of the tank hulls. I didn't know how to identify them, so I just did the same holes with the same holes and the same turrets with the same turrets. More little holes right here, and these are a bunch of turrets right here. These sold for $50.22 for the set of 3. I probably did like 200, 300, 400 listings of these. I do get a lot of people who, when I don't know how to identify stuff, they definitely reach out and tell me that stuff's not like worth as much. We've gone through it one of my Reddit videos where people are telling me that these are worth like less than $3. But here again, I'm selling another batch for 50. So I just kind of ignore people trying to tell me what prices are, even if I can't identify them, because I do have on offers, and then people who know what they're looking for and it's not a big deal that I get to sell them for more. All right, next up is going to be a little game. Interesting one. I know a bit about this. This is Bus. Small little card packet. This company makes a bunch of games. They're called like Pack of Games or something. They have a different name here. It says Perplet right there. I remember them at conventions. So their whole concept is you get these little pack of games. They're usually, I think, like $5, $7, $10. But at the convention, you can do like, you can get a whole thing of all the games for like whatever deal, or buy 3, get 1 free, something like that. So yeah, this is just one of the games called Bus. There is another popular game, I think, called Bus, which I've never played. has kind of like a weird clock and like a car kind of like swirled on the front. So I'm hoping they don't think it's that game. But yeah, the super tiny game, this only sold for $5.60. I did not pay the convention price for that. I just happen to know that they're there. Not my type of game, but I like the concept. I like the aesthetic. I like the theme, and I like the business idea. So like you can literally walk up to their booth. I don't know if they still go to the conventions. They'll be like, oh, I want to play this game, or this one has cool fantasy. This one has space. This one is for kids and stuff like that. And then you get a good deal for it. All right. Next up is going to be some tent miniatures right here by this company, Hovels. I think I have a little bit of their stuff. I don't know too much about it. It looks like an okay quality, nothing too crazy. They're gonna have to like paint it up, and I think there's like a little piece that needs to be like re-glued. This ended up selling for $14.99. People like to update their miniatures, accessories, and stuff on the table. They don't want it to just be plain. They want it to have cool stuff on there. All right, and theme stuff. All right, next up is Old Maid. Seriously, Old Maid right here, good quality one. I knew this would eventually sell. This is kind of the thing when I talk about when my family and I used to play games when I was a kid. We would play stuff like Old Maid. We'd joke with my dad always getting the Old Maid. We would play like Hearts, Canasta. There's Uno. What was it? Phase 10. We played a bunch of that stuff. So I know people still carry on that tradition. Not everyone's playing like these crazy complex board games behind me. There's a lot of people that just play low to the ground games. This one is just good quality, big cards, so like kids can, have the big cards in front of them. It's not too expensive. They spent $11.99, which is pretty good. But yeah, that's why I pick up all those games. I just know people will eventually pick them up. All right, now we have Sarvgon Colonel. I don't know if I'm saying that right. He is an Adepticon promo from 2018. I did have another one. This one also had an interesting, if I can find him. Where is he? He's hiding. He is hiding. Oh, here he is. I got like in an auction a bunch of stuff. Adepticon's a miniature convention. Used to be around us, around my parents specifically, and then they moved to like another state at this point. So I lost the ability to even go there, even though I never went. I always thought about it. It's super popular now. You can find like Warhammer, Keyforge went there one time. There's going to be a bunch of companies. It's big now. So yeah, they would get promos. You go there, booths have promos. You get a goodie bag when you get your little tickets. So yeah, this is going to be a specific figure right over here. This guy sold for, let's see, it was $38.99. So there was only this one listing for the United States, my listing, and then there was like three, I think, from like Germany or somewhere in Europe, which were more expensive than mine. So someone kept messaging like, hey, I don't like to spend more than $25 on the miniatures. Can you be more aggressive with your offer? And I was like, you know what? I'll look. So I forgot like how many people. Mindy, come here. Come here, Mindy. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Come here. All right. We'll see if she joins us. So yeah, I told them, I was like, hey, I already did like a 25% offer. I'm the only one in the United States that has it. And also, if you go international eBay shipping program, you're going to have to pay like another $10 just right off the bat without any fees and stuff like that. So I said, I was kind of like, 25% is super aggressive in my opinion. I was kind of nice about it. So they said that they'll think about it. They just had like a personal hang up about spending more than $25. I can't do anything in that as a seller. Someone's personal hang up like about how much they're going to spend and stuff. I understand it. So like it's a little miniature, but that I did have a good price on it. All right. This ended up selling for $38.99 to the person. They went against their code. So hopefully there's no issues with like returns or anything, but it wouldn't be too much to reship this back to me. We do pay the return shipping as long as we get everything back as we sent it. If you take pieces and stuff, that's a different story. I had another one, so I relisted it. So I got lucky. I had two of them. I got them from a big bag of Adepticon promos at an auction. Sorry, I was jumping all over the place there. When I just think of something, I just go right into it. I'm also on like coffee right now, so yeah, my brain's just all over the place. Next up, we have testing, a comprehensive tool for testing equipment, some kind of stereo thing. So I don't know if this is actually, is this just a testing thing? We got a bunch of free records one time, like about a couple hundred, sold about 30, 40, 50 at this point. So yeah, there was nothing too crazy. We don't know anything about records. I do know that there's a lot of money in records. You have to have the knowledge. I also know Gen Z got into records at some point. I don't know if they're still into it. Obviously, people who are older that like the records get records. But yeah, some kind of testing thing, I'm assuming, just because the name of it, $14.99, or it's some kind of like edgy name of like a record where they were just calling it testing. All right, moving along, we have Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. This is the board game, not rule book. This is the art book from a Kickstarter Really cool, by Awaken Realms. Really cool company. I don't think I've played any of their games, but I'm aware of them and I just love the style aesthetics. This has the same problem with me as Kingdom Death Monster, where it's kind of like those games you have to kind of spend a lot of time on them. You want to spend like 20, 40, 60 hours, almost like a video game, to really appreciate and dive into these games. But it's super cool that these like art books exist. This one was cheap. I sold it for $6. I had another one some point. I had 4 of these. I just keep selling them cheap because there's no rule books. It's just you literally open up and you see like the board game designer's art's really cool. All right, we're almost done here. Moving along, we have D-Day Dice Kickstarter. This was also in the video recently where I was organizing the stuff with the Wingspan cards right over here. These 2 little packs of cards by Valley Games. They literally say Kickstarter promos on them. These packs I did not open up because I knew that they would be identified rather than like a board game pack of cards where I have to figure out what expansion they're from. So yeah, someone sent me some messages. They want a combined order. This ended up selling for $30 right there. Oh, sorry. This was actually an international order. So I had the problem where sent offers, they accepted the offers. I had to cancel the 2 orders, had to make a new listing for this and have them send me another offer, the price agreed upon. So yeah, you should look at my video where I complain about eBay international shipping not being able to combine orders and I have to like make a new listing. It took like 30, 40 minutes. It was such a pain. This stuff would have already been out if I was able to send an invoice on Friday, but because it took so long between the messages and stuff, it has to go out today. So unfortunately I have to wait, but $30 for the 2 packs of Kickstarters. People like to get the Kickstarter stuff because you can't get it anymore. It does add extra stuff to your games. All right, last one. This is good memories for the place. This is the place where we got a bunch of CDs for the car. Right here is No Zone Repellent. Got 4 of these. Did pretty well with like or 6 of these or something. I think we spent like five or $10. I think it was like 4 for 20 or something. They had some kind of deal, and then I negotiated further. Sold the other like 2 or 3 for a lot more. I think that was 2022 or something. But yeah, this was the last one. This ended up selling for $14.99, so I would not flip it from 5 into. I mean, yes, it's fine. It's whatever. But yeah, this is big. Let's just make sure. I think it sends out like you have all these little stations, and it's make sure like deers and stuff don't eat your plants, your farm stuff. So yeah, I'm not too knowledgeable on that. That sold for $14.99. And then last up, this sold on Bonanza, I believe. Right here, Atari joystick keychain right here. We sold another one of these a bit ago. This has like 2 little games. I think you just like, oh, it's a little keychain. Do you actually get to play them? I remember there was those things that you would plug into the TV and you get to play like the games. This one says it has asteroids and millipede right here. So maybe you do get to play it. Yeah, I'm not too sure. It just looks tiny. It says keychain. So, all right. But yeah, I think this sold for like 20, 25, 28, something like that. I don't have the Bonanza information on hand. All right, that's everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hope everyone had a good weekend. It really hurt to change my intro today. I got problems. Have a good one.